diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Matthew Ellis-White, who's a defensive back out of Wingate University. How's it going, sir?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in there, man. Why don't you go ahead, just kind of, give me a brief summary of your career, if you don't mind. Tell me where you're from.
Well, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia originally. Moved to a couple around different states. Graduated from Stevenson High School in 2016. Committed to Wingate, and been a 4-year starter there. Started at corner, and this last year I'll be entering as a nickel and safety.
Cool. And tell me about your special teams experience.
That first starting year on special teams, I was a starter as well as a starter on every special teams except for a return. So I was on kickoff to defense, punt, punt return to defense, and the whole 9 yards.
Gotcha. So, have you ever played returner, or have you ever played any other position, even going back to your high school days?
I have not played a returner, but, once upon a time I did play running back in freshman and sophomore year of high school.
Gotcha. So, at the very least, you do know how to run with the ball in your hands.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
Obviously you can do that. You have had a few picks to your account. So, I know that you can, take that ball, down the field when you got it in your hands.
Definitely.
I was just going to ask you, what do you feel is some of the best things that you bring to the table as an athlete, as a prospect? What's one of your best attributes?
One of my best attributes as an athlete is effort. Effort will take you a long way, whether it's that being on the field and in the film room. In life, the most effort you're going to put in is what you're going to get out. And I like to put in, it's kind of cliche, 110% effort, but when you're putting in 110%, you're going to yield 10%.
Gotcha. And with regards to you as a prospect, is there any way that you could perhaps compare yourself to somebody who's in the league right now? Is there a player that you model yourself after or compare yourself to?
Definitely. Tyrann Mathieu, we share a lot of the same statures, and attributes and things like that. But, outside of that is just how he carries himself and how he plays the game. It's fast, it's tenacious. And I feel as if I model that the same way.
Cool. I was just going to ask you, obviously this isn't the most ideal off season, but what have you been doing with this off season? How are you staying focused? How are you staying busy? What have you been doing?
I've been working a lot, but I haven't let that interfere with me, keeping my body in shape. I work out 2 times a day, 4 to 5 times a week, along with the 30 to 40-hour work shift, and it hasn't, inhibited my grades or anything like that at all. But my biggest motivation is to stay in shape because we're gonna play eventually. It may not be today or tomorrow, but eventually we're gonna play, and when the time comes, I'll be ready.
Cool. And I was just going to ask you, do you see yourself as a leader on the football field? And if so, what kind of a leader are you?
I definitely see myself as a leader now, more so in my later parts of the career. And I may not be the most vocal leader. I will be vocal when needed and, when necessary. But I'm more of sort of an off-field leader and on-field example setter. Off the field, I carry myself, exceptional all the time, and whether it's that being in school or work or, just around the town, you have to carry yourself a certain kind of way and people take note of that.
Gotcha. So Matthew, I look at your size, about 5'10", 200 pounds. Definitely not exactly what a lot of people want to see, but I realize that there is one part about you that you do allow to help you really just compete with almost everybody, and that is just the whole mental aspect of the game, knowing your playbook and everything. What I want you to do, if you don't mind, just kind of walk me through, you and your, mental awareness of, being a football player. Chat with me about like the film room and how you prepare yourself throughout the week.
Well, getting ready for a game, you're going to always watch film, but, a lot of guys just watch the film. They don't really take the time to break it down and to really understand the film. Watching film, I definitely try to pick up on tendencies, or that being from the receiver to the offensive line to the quarterback, especially. And after that, it's formation recognition. A formation will tell you a lot about what play is coming. But, the last thing I kind of look at in regards to what a lot of guys neglect is myself on film. What do I show on film that will give teams a cue to what I'm doing? And how can I tailor that in terms of, misleading the other team to think I'm doing one thing in terms of I'm doing the other thing.
Gotcha. So, I mean, it sounds like you're playing a game of chess out there with everybody else. So, I mean, definitely, definitely it's got to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just kind of dive a little bit into, your game day. Let's get us ready to go play some ball. I mean, what are you doing? Like, how are you getting yourself psyched up and ready to go? Any ritualistic thing you got to do to get yourself ready?
Every game day is honestly the same for me. I go to bed no later than 10 o'clock that night before, and then I'm waking up around 7 or 8, depending on if it's a night or day game. And I'm taking a 30-minute hot Epsom salt bath, just to clear out any soreness I have from the week, anything, get that cleaned away. And then I make myself breakfast. Bananas, oatmeal, and some bacon always, and then from there, it's the film. I have the film constantly going through team dinner. Then we go watch film, and then I watch film afterwards. And then from there, you're getting close to game time. About 30 minutes before, I stop listening to music. I tone out the entire outside world, and then from there, it's my mind's blank, and nothing matters more than the game.
Gotcha. And what has been maybe like your best moment on the field? Maybe like your biggest highlight to date that you want to share.
My biggest highlight to me was my first career INT against Pembroke. Actually grabbing that interception off the ground, and when a lot of people didn't know I had the ball and putting it in the air, it felt almost like a Rudy moment. I had a lot of work to get to that point to where I could say, a lot of people don't do that. There's a lot of people that can't say they have done stuff at the collegiate level, but there's been a lot of work that put into that moment that led to that interception.
Cool. And Matt, I mean, I realize that part of your resume is your history as a track athlete as well as a wrestler, which I find that interesting. How has your experience as a wrestler helped you as a football player?
Unlike wrestling, unlike football, I mean, wrestling is not a team sport. It is a team sport, but once you're within the bounds of the mat, it's best man wins. And, the ability to assert your will on another human being is it can go a long way, honestly, on the football field. And it teaches you a lot of grit and determination. A lot of wrestling matches go the full time limit. And, after that, it's very exhausting. So you'll have to push through a mental barrier as long as a physical barrier. And then once I got to that point where, I was able to push through the mental and physical barrier, my skills as a football player were definitely increased tenfold.
Cool. So, I mean, definitely, helping out with that level of competition too, and like, completely like, asserting your will on someone and breaking them. I mean, that has got to be an excellent feeling. Let's just talk about you outside of an athlete. I mean, I realize that you're a finance major there at Wingate. I mean, tell me what you're doing there as a student. Any organizations or activities that you're involved in, and really just anything about yourself, like outside of the football field, that you want to share.
I'm finishing up my undergraduate degree in finance right now. My sophomore year, I chartered a fraternity on my campus. I'm making sci-fi with along a couple of my teammates. I'm a part of NABA, which is an acronym for National Association of Black Accountants, as well as that. And, outside of football, I manage two portfolios myself, two investment portfolios myself.
Cool. And again, is there like any special interests or hobbies that you have like outside of football?
Yeah, I'm a huge anime person. A lot of people don't know that, but majority of the programming I watch, I'd say about 85 to 87% is definitely anime.
Gotcha. And so just to kind of give a little bit of insight to people, I mean, what exactly are you watching? What is your go-to for anime?
My go-to is One Piece.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not that big of an anime person, but I mean, whoever's watching this video might be. So I mean, hey, I mean, uh, this is going to be on our YouTube channel. So I mean, heck, you could just go and just search that when you're done. Figure out what that is. Well, hey, man. As we begin to move on a little bit, I mean, I want to make sure to give you the opportunity to give some shout outs to some people that have helped you along the way to get you to where you are. With regards to coaches, mentors, leaders, family, and then just kind of some teammates too. So, I mean, who do you want to give a little bit of love to right now?
First and foremost, got to give it to my parents. They raised me a certain way, and the way they raised me is the reason I am who I am today. And I cannot thank them enough. Tremendous amount of respect for those two individuals right there. Coach Clark and Coach Jenkins. A lot of people looked over me and stuff like that, and those guys saw something in me, and I wasn't going to let them down. And it's been a nice 4 years from since the day I signed. And lastly, to my teammate, my very old teammate, Cornell Sharon, who's moving on to the latter parts of his life. He taught me a lot as an incoming freshman. He was a grad student, and he knew he was on his way out, and he kind of donned me the game and gave me the keys.
Cool. Yeah, definitely nice to have a few good teammates to help get you ready and compete with for starting jobs and stuff too. So great things there. So next question is really just the why question. So I mean, tell me why you play football. I mean, what's your motivation?
I've been playing football since I was 5, so the majority of my life I've been playing football. And a lot of years, I didn't know why I was playing football up until, I just kind of stepped back one day and I kind of realized, the extra sprints, the extra reps that I'm going through with the guys next to me, that builds friendships that last a lifetime, And a lot of guys that I play football with in a lot of different states, I'm still very in touch with. They're still, I consider, best friends. And it's the camaraderie ship, being blessed enough to be able to step on the field, in any level is honestly, whether that be park ball, anything, being able to step on the field and compete is definitely a blessing. And especially being able to complete at such a high level for a very good program, I just don't take those things for granted.
Gotcha. And very last thing is really just what would be your pitch to a professional team? I mean, what kind of player would they be getting if they took a chance on you?
When coaches have that first meeting of the year and they want to establish what kind of culture they want to have, what their goals of the season, what kind of people they want to bring in, I feel as if I'll hit every single one of those check marks on those boxes, whether I'm being a special teams player, or, a scout team player, I'm always going 100%. I'll treat special teams like it's a starting position because, I mean, it essentially is a starting position, and whether I'm just a part of the team and not, being a starter, I still take that very serious.
Yeah, I mean, when I kind of, took my time to try and dive in a little bit into your history, and what you've done over the course of your collegiate career, all the statistics you've been able to put together, the things that really come to mind for me are really just being a solid, steady, consistent performer, whether that be at corner or even as you shift into that, safety role. And I feel like that's really what they're going to be getting. And they're also going to be getting a player who is, smart enough to go out there and to learn a playbook and be able to contribute on special teams. So, I mean, I feel like there is a lot that you can bring to the table.
Definitely. Thank you.
Matthew, thank you so much for your time. I do wish you best of luck moving forward. I mean, I know we're still waiting for you to play some more football, but I mean, as you do prepare for those things, man, again, I do wish you all the best. Again, this is Matthew Ellis-White. He's a corner out of Wingate University. Definitely check him out. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you. The rest of your day.